Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tribe Forex Power Hour. Today is February 24th, 2014. I'm here with Nino FX Trader. How are you, Nino?
I'm great, Marcello. Just
Oh,
excited to get started
yeah,
this week in the market.
that's right. Make some good pips as you guys did last week. They really made a lot of good pips last week. If you weren't available for that, you can always join us at tribeforex.com. Tuesdays and Thursdays, Nino runs a live trade room at 1 a.m. Eastern Time for the European session and 8 a.m. Eastern Time for the New York session every Tuesday and Thursday at those times, 1 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So please join us for that. He'll be running one tonight, so you guys can be a part of that if that's what you want to do, if you have time for it. So what we're going to cover today is how it works, how it is that we make money, and then I'm going to get right into our daily market analysis. Okay, and then if we have any trades, which we don't today, I'm going to review some of our recent trades. So first of all, it's actually really simple. At 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we do our market analysis to determine our bias. What is our bias? Our bias is the probability that price will have a maximum favorable excursion equal to or greater than our take profit in that area. So basically, we're looking for what direction price is most likely to go in, okay, where we will have success. Okay, and so that's our bias. So we'll have a buy bias if we believe price will move up. We'll have a sell bias if we believe that price will move down on a particular pair. Now, once we determine what the bias is, there are two ways to execute our trades. Now, there's one, we take a set and forget it trade. That means if you are, if you have a job, a 9 to 5, whatever it is, you don't have a ton of time, whatever reason there may be, or you don't want to sit in front of your computer, you can take a set and forget it trade. That means that we determine the bias, you take a trade based off the bias, you leave it, you come back to it the next day to figure out if you hit your take profit or your stop loss, and you can manage the trade thereafter. Okay? And number two, as we mentioned before, we day trade in the direction of our bias using our pods, our points of decision, for bigger profits. Last week, for example, when I say bigger profits, what I mean is, imagine this. You get into a trade, it's got 12 pips of risk on it, 10 to 12 pips of risk, okay? You risk 1%, half a percent, 1%. Let's go for 1% for the sake of simplicity. That trade runs for 80 pips of profit. How much do you walk away from if you exit both positions at that 80 pip mark? Well, 8 to 1, you walk away with 8% possible profit on that one trade. That's exactly what they did last week on one of their trades. So what I'm saying to you is there's a tremendous capacity, an opportunity to make and to leverage profitability through the day trading room. So once again, that's 1 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 a.m. and 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, let's take a look at the market really quickly. Guys, I don't want to disappoint, but today is one of those days where I don't have an awful lot to say about the market, and when I don't feel I have a definite direction, I'm not going to give a bias. Now, here's what I'll say. There's a couple things that we can see here that are plain for us. Okay, we do have a consolidation. There's no doubt about it. There's a consolidation here. Okay, and what you'll notice here is that we have a very clear horizontal resistance area at 137.68. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 touches right there. You can see going across that it was absolutely acknowledged and respected by the market. Okay, so what we're going to do here on this trade is I will recommend, or what I will say to you is that when we get to the support area or this resistance area at the top, you may take a sell. And if you're at a support area below, and I think there are 3 points here that I didn't acknowledge before, that we can absolutely take a buy from the lower end of this. So look at 137.17 for a potential buy. And you can look for a sell either at 137.50 or 137.68. and we are in a consolidation, and that is all I can say. So I don't have a clear bias whether it's buy or sell. It's going to depend on what the market actually does, and you're going to have to make a decision based upon that. If you're in the live trade room, you'll see how Nino deals with that, and you will be able to make profits, hopefully, if things go our way. Okay, so pound dollar. Pound dollar, we do have, out of all the currency pairs that I'm going to review today, I think the pound dollar is probably one of the stronger ones that we can go with for a number of reasons. We have a reversal candle. That's good. We also have a support area that this reversal candle bounced off of. We also have the 38.2 fib, which this reversal candle bounced off of, and we had a close above our 166.50 area. Okay, so we may see price come down. We may see price come up to the 23.6, and yes, there is a potential area of resistance above, but the most likely direction of price is a buy here on the pound dollar. Okay, and you can see that reversal was also bouncing very closely off the Bollinger as well. Bollinger 80 that we're using on the daily. So I would say a buy bias on the pound dollar. New Zealand dollar, we can also see a buy here as well. I mean, this candle is actually, for me, it's an extended candle. It's a little bit bigger than I'd like to see, a little bit bigger than the ATR that you will see on some of these candles, on the New Zealand, I should say. And for that reason, I would decline to call a bias on this. I mean, I do feel like price could retrace and come straight down here on this New Zealand, or it could continue up. When it gets closer to this trend line, I think I will more likely than not have a very clear direction as far as the bias is going to be concerned, especially if that candle reacts the way that we think that it should at this very strong area of support and resistance. So we will wait and see what happens there. I'm not going to call anything on the New Zealand. Aussie dollar, same thing. We had a nice bounce. And guys, I called a buy bias on the Aussie dollar. And you can see what happened basically is the first day it came down, didn't really break the low of that reversal candle, and didn't do that today either. And then finally moves up and actually hits our 90.50 area of support and resistance. Now, this is what you call consolidation. The highs and the lows, the opens and the closes, they all overlap for the last 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 days. And so for that reason, not even that, 12 days, 13 days. And for that reason, guys, what I would say is that this is also a lower area of probability for taking a trade here. And for that reason, although I had figured, initially a sell here and then a buy, I had a buy bias here, and I do have a buy bias. I do believe we're going to, at some point, hit this trend line. I am not, I don't feel like there's a strong buy sentiment here for the Aussie dollar just for this particular day, and we don't have a ton of news that's going to be coming out to drive it in one direction or the other, and so for that reason I don't have a call on that. The dollar CAD, though, we had nice reversal candle here, and we also have a confirmation of that with price moving down. So that for that reason, I do think the dollar CAD may be a sell, and so I'm looking for a sell here. I've got a sell bias on the dollar CAD. Usually not one of the currency pairs that I see a lot of, or that I have a very clear call on. But in this particular juncture, I do have a clear call on the dollar CAD. Euro yen. The euro yen is interesting because it also is in consolidation here. It's crossed through an area of support and resistance, and it's just kind of going sideways. Once again, a no-call day on the euro yen. Dollar yen, same thing. It's hovering right below the 50 EMA, and it's just really in consolidation here on the dollar yen. I don't have a call on that either. Now the pound yen. Pound yen is interesting because we are bouncing. We're right in the apex, guys. So, right where we are, we should see some form of a breakout in one direction or the other. I can't tell you which direction it's going to be in because we've had conflicting signals. We've had this reversal candle and a strong acknowledgement of this upper trend line, which is our area of resistance. And we've also had the same thing on the lower side of the lower trend line, which was our support area. So we're right in this apex, and nothing's abundantly clear as far as that's concerned. Do I think that price could come up and hit 171.44 and then bounce down? More likely than not, we could see that. So what I would recommend is if you're going to do anything with this currency pair, wait for 171.44, 171.50, and look for a sell here. on the pound yen. Besides that, I do not have a very clear bias. So we're going to be playing the ranges here, guys, for the next few days, just because we don't have an awful lot of news coming out and we don't have very clear signals. Dollar Swiss now. The dollar Swiss looks, for me, I think that that's more clear than the other ones, and I'll tell you why. It's because we drew this trend line a few days ago. We had the upper area of resistance, which has held so far, and then we also have the lower area of support. We've got 1, 2, 3 clear touches and a test of the low, not quite breaking through and really closing higher here on the dollar Swiss. What does that mean for us? That means that 88.60 area for the trend line is extremely strong. And for that reason, if we do have a move back down to 88.60, we're at 88.87 right now, we're more likely than not going to see a buy. So here's what I say. On the dollar Swiss here, I am going to call a buy. I'm going to have a buy bias. Now, can price come down here and move back up? Yes, it can. So I'm going to have a buy bias here. That's what I'm going to be looking for in the European session and into the New York session. And so that's my bias. So of them, all the currency pairs, what's clear to me is that I have a pound dollar buy, I have a dollar Swiss buy, and I have a dollar CAD sell. Okay? And that pretty much does it for me as far as the trade calls for today. So there's not an awful lot to call. We're at the end of the month, guys. Sometimes it's better just to sit on the sidelines and wait for something. We do have an opportunity. We will take it. And what I recommend is, if there is something, Nino's going to be able to take advantage of that, knowing what the biases are and knowing that we're trading the ranges, because that's what we have available to us at this juncture. Guys, don't forget, Tuesdays and Thursdays, that means tonight, okay, at 1 a.m. Eastern Time, Nino will be in the trade room, and once again at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, he'll also be in the trade room for the New York market. Meet him there, trade with him, make some pips hopefully, and ask whatever questions, pick his brain. Okay, join us at tribeforex.com, where you will be able to get all this training for free. And obviously we have a trading course that you'll also be able to take advantage of, but most of all, you'll be able to be around traders with the like mind, and you'll also be able to pick our brains as far as what it looks like to be a trader for multiple years and to be a pro trader. All the best, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for another edition of the Tribe Forex Power Hour. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.